Well, there's no time like the present to get those beans planted. Should have got them planted, a couple of days ago when the Kitty Crew got this planting area all done. But other things went on that we had to get done first. But here we are on Saturday. June the 10th, and we're going to get her done. And we've got with us our work barrel, or wheelbarrow, and, improvised garden cart. It's plenty good enough. With all the things we may or may not need. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be planting our very own beans. And they're right here. Yeah, I haven't even shucked them yet. Where I picked them off the vine before hard winter set. Yeah, we'll shuck them and get the seed out. I store them this way. It don't hurt. But they're my own variety of beans. They started out as rattlesnake pole beans and Kentucky wonder beans. Yeah, and then they crossed right here between this space and those two spaces down there back in 2018. Yeah, and they made a hybrid cross bean, which is a little bit of both. Sometimes more rattlesnake than Kentucky wonder. Some beans are more Kentucky wonder than they are rattlesnake. If you'd like to try rattlesnake pole beans, which I would recommend highly for the deep south, they're drought resistant, great producer. It produces all year long, as you've seen in years past here. You can get them at, Haas Tools. Haas, we help you grow your own food. Rattlesnake pole beans, right there. 55 days to harvest. 150 seeds per packet. That's enough to get you growing on. And no, we're not affiliated, or are they a sponsor? But this is where we buy some of our seeds, and they worked out fine, especially here in the deep south of Alabama. So if you want to check out the rattlesnake pole beans and grab some for your own, I'm sure they'll grow wherever you may be too. But give those fine folks at Haas a call or an email too and tell them, Mr.Tom sent you along. We'd appreciate it, and I'm sure they would too. But enough about Haas. We got to get to planting and growing on. So the first thing we got to do is get up our old drip tape or soaker hose or what have you, because we don't want to damage it. So we're going to pull the pins that hold it down. They ain't hard. Well, some of them are a little harder than others. We'll get our little earth pins or garden pins or whatever you want to call them, landscaping pins that we made from coat hangers out of the way. And now we're ready. There's a bean or part of a bean seed. Yep, something been eating them, the birds. But that was from last year that fell out that I didn't get. There's one right there. Hey, we'll have to plant it too. Yep, some of them fell out while I was picking off the pods. There's another one. There may be more in there too. Who's to say? But they'll come up once we start watering. But let's get us a couple of furrows dug and get this done before the sun gets too high, because we're expecting rain later in the day. That's why we want to get her planted out, because we got another planting to do too. That's got to be done before this day is done. And we're just going to start out with our old mattocks. And this ground is nice, and as I've showed you, soft. It's got some roots in it. Yeah, everything around here likes to grow in it. We're just taking this mattocks, as it's called. Found a rock or something there. Not sure what. There's something right there. We'll leave it alone. And there's some roots in here for sure. And rocks, all kinds of things. we're just chopping up the furrow, making a nice planting bed. Now, if my big tushy wasn't in the way, maybe you all saw, we just used our little garden mattocks there. You know, that's what this is. There's the mattocks end, and there's like a cultivator digging end, 3-tine. Works great, we've had it forever. Not sure where we got it from. I think you can get them on Amazon. Well, that's not where I got mine, but I think you can. And I've got a little furrow done there, yeah. And when we get done, I mean, it looks like it's deep, but it's not. Oh, it's about inch and a half. Look at there. There's one of them red wigglers. He's asleep. He may have got knocked unconscious when we were digging. But they're all throughout there, as I've showed you. Now this is a little bit more rockier. Yeah, because it's out of the way from where we've normally been planting. You know, this area seems to get bigger and bigger every year. But that's all we do. You make a little furrow. You want at least an inch deep. And that, you know, that looks like it's awful deep. But when we add back the soil, amend and everything, it'll be just right. You know, you can be 1 inch to 2 inches if your soil's nice and loose. The beans will come up. Trust me, they will. Now, if you've got hard packed soil and clay, yeah, you'll probably want to stay 3/4 to 1 inch deep. But hey, I've got to shuck some bean seed because we haven't done that yet. See? And get ready to get these planted. We'll be back when we got us some seed. Well, y'all, planting beans, it's so simple. You know, we went ahead and shelled some of our beans. Got what's left over there in a Ziploc bag. We'll look at that here in a minute. But as you can see, we got them in our little furrow. And when we're all finished, it'll be about 1 inch, 1.5 inches deep. It looks a little deeper than that now, probably 2 inches. But you know, once we fill it on in and it compacts, it'll be just right. For our ground, you know, we don't have hard packed clay. We have nice sandy loam. The seeds can get up through the soil layer even when they're a little deeper. And it's that depth that helps, you know, get those deep roots started early. But you can see the little furrow, and we've got our seed about every 2 inches. Now you might wonder, there's more seed here than there are poles, but don't worry. I've trained at least 4 vines up each bean pole. Sometimes as many as 6. I think 3 and 4 per pole right here last year. So it's not like you got to have a pole for every vine. It'll do fine. And like I say, here's what we had left. And it's hard to see in that Ziploc bag, but there's a natural variation of my seed because it hasn't stabilized yet. Some of the seed is lighter in color, some is darker, some's got stripes like the rattlesnake, some don't, you know. Yeah, it hasn't stabilized, as they call it. It's only been going for a few years. I mean, it could take 10, 15, 20 years to fully stabilize. But hey, whatever it does grow has been tasty. And I haven't minded at all. And if I really wanted to put something in that was true to form right now, I'd go ahead and plant out those fine rattlesnake pole beans I got in the packet over in the wheelbarrow from Haas Tools. But I don't. Those are my backup. I'm going to continue to plant my own Kentucky Wonder rattlesnake pole bean cross right here. And you'll see it grow again this year like years past. But I don't have a lot of seed. I still got some that need to be shucked. But I didn't grow a lot of beans last year. And that was almost a mistake. You know, you got to keep growing to keep having the seed. It ain't hard. But yeah, now we're just going to give these a little taste of worm casting. It gives them an initial nitrogen boost. And from that point on, yeah, the beans will produce their own nitrogen as they grow on throughout the year. So yeah, it's sort of like inoculating the soil. And you can buy bean and pea inoculant if you want them to set more nitrogen. Yeah, I haven't bought that in years. My beans seem to do fine, as you can see. I just sprinkle a little bit of that along. It'll be fine. And then we're going to come back and we're just going to cover it up lightly. You know, nothing strategic. You know, just use our hand. Come on in. Don't got to get all the dirt in there. Just cover it up where it's sort of kind of level. Rake out any roots, stones, and then we'll water it in. See? I mean, you don't got to have no fancy tools. You know, it'd be nice to have a camera person. Oh, we dropped that one. Yeah, we could use the extra one right there, couldn't we? Yes, we could. Nope, there's a stone. We don't want the stone. That might be on top of our bean seed. Yeah. And see, with a little bitty garden hoe, garden trowel, garden mattocks, and what have you, and the best garden tool of all, your hands, we got our beans planted, at least here, in this spot for 2023. Didn't even cost a lot. In fact, in truth, the bean seed was free from last year. Oh yeah, I used a little bit of dusting earthworm casting. I've had that bag now for what, 2 seasons or more. Not much money at all. Now we just got to water them in. Always water them in, folks. Well, we got some water. Let's water them in. Oh, you know, we started out the morning with a bright blue sky. Now we got overcast. Hey, maybe the weatherman's got it right today. Maybe it will rain. We're not going to take no chances. We got the watering can, and we're just going to get her all drained in. And you'll see that I left that furrow below ground level, so it's going to catch some water. Yep. And of course, it's all trying to run out down there on the end. Yep, we're going to have to make a dam. And that's easy enough to do with one of these tools. We'll just make a little dam right there. Yeah. And now, just like all my other plantings, we got a water well. Of course, that end's gonna get more than up here because it's all running downhill. But you sort of get my drift, right? And that's done. Bean planting 2023 is already started and on its way. And if we want to plant more, we got more seed. Just got to find the place. But that'll actually be plenty for one little old man and the kitty crew. They're not really big on green beans. But if nothing more, we'll keep the seed line alive. Maybe one day we can offer some to all of you. So yeah, Saturday's changed. Early this morning, bright blue skies and blazing sunshine. Now, 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and the overcast has moved on in, rather heavy, I'd say. So there you have it, friends and family. Just simple bean planting. Don't take a lot. You know, simple garden trowel, a garden hoe, or one of these here mattocks, like what I got, and your hands. Of course, you got to have some seed and some water. Earthworm castings are not required, but desired. It gives them just a little taste of nitrogen. It gets the little green plant going on. And then it takes over once it gets its roots set, produces its own nitrogen all year long. And it actually leaves them in the ground for the next year to get whatever you plant there a little boost in the spring. So hey, that's all we got for you on this episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood in the deep south of Alabama. Until you know them all, the kitty crew, Cleo, Spooky, Speedy, and old Mr. Gray. Sometimes Heathcliff and little Gracie too. See you on that next video. Take care, stay safe, and God bless you as you bless those in your lives. Goodbye for now. Ooh, we got to pick up and head on down. We got some more planting to do. Something we got to get done as well before we hope the rains come our way. Yeah. Time's a wasting. I wonder where my helpers went. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it ain't even sunshiny out. And the kitty crews, well, they may be napping, you know. They were wore out from working last night and early this morning. I don't blame them. It's already 10 o'clock. You know, I'm sweaty and moist. Yeah. But there's so much more to do. Later, all.